Hello, friends. I hope you all are doing really well in your respective lives. Today, I, Kunal Nagpal, am feeling really pleased to welcome you all to this online economic portal, Nagpal Econotech Academy. My dear friends, today we are basically going to discuss a very important and strategic aspect in the IT industry. That is, we are going to discuss the core insights being presented by the CEO of Alphabet Inc. and Global, Mr. Sundar Pichai. He has expressed his point very clearly and very crisply that the emerging technology of artificial intelligence, yes, it's very beneficial for the entire globe, and Google actually need to modify its overall architecture with respect to this particular technology. But simultaneously, a lot of precaution needs to be taken, and it needs to be applied in a very wise manner, because various pros and cons are associated with each and every technology. Moreover, a it will require a really very well designed architecture which will help to regulate this particular technology in a well supervised manner, and that is really very essential. For instance, in this particular session we are going to throw light on the possible misusage of this particular technology, like the fake videos. So this particular technology and its successful implementation, giving much regard to the regulatory framework, is actually not allowing Mr. Sundar Pichai to have the sound sleep. So let's begin. The thing that is keeping Mr. Sundar Pichai all up at night. The Alphabet Inc. and Google Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Sundar Pichai, said in an interview broadcast on this Sunday that the push to adopt artificial intelligence technology must be well regulated to avoid the potential harmful effects. He stated this point very firmly with great conviction on 22nd April 2023. And when asked in a 60 minutes interview about what keeps him up at night with regard to the artificial intelligence, Mr. Pichai said the urgency to work and hence deploy it in the most beneficial way. But at the same time, it can be very harmful if deployed wrongly. Mountain View, California-based Google has actually been among the leaders in developing and implementing artificial intelligence across its services. Software like Google Lens and Google Photos actually very heavily rely on the company's image recognition systems, while its Google Assistant benefits from the natural language processing research that Google has actually been doing for years. Still, its pace of basically deploying this particular technology has been deliberately measured and circumspect, whereas OpenAI's ChatGPT has actually opened up a race to basically move forward with AI tools at a much faster clip. We basically don't have all the answers there yet, and the technology is actually moving very fast, Mr. Pichai said. So, does that keep me up at night? Absolutely. This is the firm reply by Mr. Sundar Pichai. Google is now playing catch up in basically looking to infuse its overall products, that is, the overall portfolio of its diverse range of products, with the generative AI, the software that can create the text, images, music, or even the video based on user prompts. The ChatGPT and another open AI product, DAL-E, showed the technology's potential, and countless businesses from Silicon Valley to China's internet leaders are actually now getting involved in presenting their own offerings. The former Google CEO, Mr. Eric Schmidt, urged the global tech companies to basically come together and hence develop the standards and appropriate guardrails, warning that any slowdown in development would simply benefit China. So, despite the sense of urgency in the industry, Mr. Pichai cautioned against the companies being swept up in the competitive dynamics. And he finds the lessons in the experience of OpenAI's more direct approach and the debut of ChatGPT. One of the points they have made is you actually don't want to put out a tech like this when it's really very, very powerful, because it gives the society no time to adapt. I repeat, one of the points they have made is you don't want to put out a tech like this when it's basically very, very powerful, because it basically gives society no time to adapt. Mr. Pichai said, I think that's actually quite a reasonable perspective. I think there are responsible people there trying to figure out how to approach this technology, and so are we. This is the very, very appropriate reply given by the Google CEO, Mr. Pichai. That is, he very wonderfully justifies his statement, stating that he thinks that there are responsible people there trying to figure out how to approach this particular technology, that is artificial intelligence. And hence, he is also following the same approach. And among the risks of the generative artificial intelligence that Mr. Pichai highlighted are so-called deep fake videos, which I have mentioned at the beginning of this particular session. And if I further talk on this particular misusage of artificial intelligence, the individuals can basically be portrayed uttering the remarks that they actually did not make. So such pitfalls actually illustrate the need for a very, very firm regulation, Mr. Pichai said. So there have to be the consequences for creating the deep fake videos which actually cause harm to society, he said. And anybody means anybody who has worked with artificial intelligence for a while, you realize this is something so different and so deep that we would need the societal regulations to basically think about how to adapt. So, my dear friends, in this particular discussion, we have been able to reach to a particular point that in order to implement a certain technology in the society, a very, very integral aspect is to monitor its effective usage so that certain people or a certain segment of the population do not misuse. And this is really a very, very huge responsibility on the shoulder of the renowned companies, CEOs, who are not only responsible of bringing in the new change in the society, but equally they are very much responsible for ensuring the effective usage of the same in the society, so that certain section of the society do not misuse that particular technology, because these times, as all of us know, are actually quite uncertain. So this obviously calls for the wise approach. So that's all for today, my dear friends, and I really hope you must have found this session really impactful, helping you to broaden your overall mindset. And what all homework do you really need to do before implementing a certain change in the society? So thank you so much for your wise listening. I'm calling it wise listening because it really requires core amount of patience to basically ensure that the content gets absorbed within your minds in a beautiful, productive manner. Thank you so much. Namaskar. Jai Hind.